Take your position. The show is about to start.
Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to On Screen, where we discuss all things cinema all the time. Here's your hosts.
the award goes to
Joe Burnett, Joe Cuffney, and Jesse Reichenstein. Lights, camera, action.
I watched The Cat in the Hat, and then I was like, oh, wrong one. And I watched The Car in the Moon.
And then, well, you're watching Cat in the Hat and you said, wait, someone told me to watch this Mike Myers movie. Then you're like, oh, Halloween. So you were like, okay, Halloween. And then you're like, no, there's something Car in the Moon.
It's like the other Mike Myers.
Other Mike Myers. Yeah.
Wayne's World. Austin Powers.
I love it. So yeah, this episode we're talking about The Cat in the Moon, which directed and written by Alex Wolff, debut of both of those for him, feature-length film. So that's pretty cool. That's one of the reasons why I picked this movie is because I love Alex Wolff. I think he's one of the most underrated actors today, and I think
He
I don't know. I was
all
very
the criteria of being a kid actor who has a band.
that literally
Which
fits
is
my mold.
like, yeah, he boom right out the gate. Great. Have you seen him in concert yet?
No, I have not.
All right.
But I do like him and his acting style because I feel like if I was an actor, I vibe with him. If I wasn't in a comedic role or something, I feel like I would be an Alex Wolff type character. I don't know. I just get that vibe.
I got the impression that, I wanted to ask you this, but like this, even though I don't know if it was technically art school, I think it was just school, but it reminded me a lot of what I would expect at an art school. Is that accurate?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's different because this is New York City. Is it at New York City high school? Or was it like a college? I think it was a high school.
No, it was high school, which I'll bring up because that's a thing I had. That was a problem with this for me. But maybe it was like like a school of the arts. Like maybe it was not a public. Although it seemed like a public.
Yeah, because they weren't like the classiest people.
No,
but like there's charter school, like not like
True.
Private paid. There's like other.
That's true.
I don't know.
I was so confused at the beginning of this movie because like I came in knowing absolutely nothing. And I really thought this was going to be a movie about music because his dad and this guy, and then like they were playing the piano when they went to that first party. And I was like waiting for us to go this music direction. And we kind of just never did.
Yeah.
So I was like, I kind of thought this was going to be like an art piece or like more like arts focused. And it was really a coming of age story. And so I was kind of like, it kind of blindsided me. I felt like,
Yeah, I totally get that. I thought this was going to be, all I knew was like the synopsis from IMDb and like a little bit of the actors. I didn't like watch the trailer or anything. I thought this was going to be like a drug movie, which it kind of was, but I thought this was going to be like an indie drug movie essentially, which it kind of was, but it was more geared towards like a character study of this guy.
Yeah, it was interesting because like once I realized it was much more of a coming of age movie than it was, but then like there's like entire aspects of this that I was kind of like, why was this in there? And in a character study, maybe it makes sense, but like, like they kept bringing up this guy's mom who was coming out of rehab, but other than that, had really no part in the story at all.
Right.
So I don't know. It was just I was interested by what parts they decided to keep in because I feel like some of the parts were trying to be extremely meaningful and they were trying to like build meaning into it. Like when this guy and the kid were playing like piano and stuff, like that was like kind of like a touching moment, I think.
Yeah.
But like, what did that mean? You know what I mean?
I think it's just like, I don't know. I personally like this type of, I love these types of movies. They're just like indie dramas, but it's like, sometimes they don't even, I don't know. I don't even think there was a meaning. It's kind of like, you're kind of like following this kid's life. Like there's no like plot. There's no like, it's just like follow this guy.
That's the thing. Like, I'm not going to say I didn't like this movie, but like, I feel like I wanted to like it a lot more than I actually did.
I feel, yeah.
If that makes sense.
I get that totally.
Because I really wanted there to be like just a little more to the story. But like I did like the characters, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
They're really good actors, I think.
Yeah,
And a couple of them I've seen it before, like the kid with the freckles, Skylar, what's his name? Seamus.
He's in a lot of stuff.
Recently he's been I first saw him in Rob Zombie's Halloween. He plays young Tommy Doyle. And then I was and then Booksmart, he was the funniest character in Booksmart by far. But he's been in a lot of stuff recently, and I think he's really, really good. I'm excited to see what he does.
He was he's one of the sons in the Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, gotcha.
Part. I actually, surprising the other way, although maybe it came to the same point, I was pleasantly surprised by this movie because I came in thinking I was going to hate it because I was like, this is just another dumb Joe movie. Like, you know, like
maybe you should go into all my movies like that, Jesse.
It's all just, it's just because it's Alex Wolff and it's like this kid star that he loves who plays music and it's going to be some garbage piece of movie. It is. I also say like Alex Wolff, I think is a very good actor. He seems he's really impressive to go from a kid actor too. And maybe it's because I never really watched like the Naked Brothers Band or like
I never did
anything,
either.
But there's still, even when kid stars go on to be like dramatic actors, there's still something there that like, I don't know if it's just because I connect them with the kids. So it's like hard for me to fully dive into this dramatic role, but he like is very good at it. As in like, I couldn't actually see it. It's hard for me to imagine him playing like a non-dramatic role right away. But one, it starts and he shows up at the guy's place and he's like, I already took care of the school stuff, so you can just like go, like you've been going for a year and you don't have to worry about orientation. And I was like, community college? Why would
they didn't specify
he signed you up for community college? Being like, this is a strange way to say it. And then he goes, and then I'm still thinking it's actually college when he like shows up and tries to knock, and the girl opens, like gets buzzed in, they walk in. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's like a college building. And then he goes into the class and I was like, oh, it's high school. And then I'm thinking, everyone seems way too old for high school.
Yeah.
Which is like always obviously tricky to nail because like, most people are like older when they're playing high schoolers. Yeah. But I was like, it felt too old, just too old for high school.
I feel you.
And that Seamus, that character or that actor, I think he's really good. I watched Licorice Pizza recently too, and he is in
Licorice Pizza
that. He's a fairly, not a huge role, but like he's definitely great, a named character. And I was thinking the same thing in there because he's kind of like supposed to be a kid in there. And then in Righteous Gemstones, he's like one of the sons, but he's like older, like in like late 20s. And I'm always like, he for some reason to me always feels he looks too young to play old roles, but when he looks too old to play young roles. I'm like, I don't even know what age he should play.
Which might be a good thing that he was in this because, I don't know.
He did by the end. I think I was like, okay, yeah, I'm like buy this character now. But when he showed up at the beginning, he was an extra part of like, this is not high school. Like, what is going on? So that was I don't know, a little gripe I had. And then I do think it still was done really well. And I feel like a lot of it felt like, kind of like we were talking about before of like how movies just feel like other movies. Like this kind of just felt like any other movie that's like this.
Yeah.
But I will say they did some things I think really well that can be very like cheesy-ish. Like how in the beginning he's like waiting for the subway and he's kind of like edging to the close, and then like kind of goes back and they don't really address it, and then they find out like his dad may or may not
that was kind of
have jumped. But they did that in a way where I'm like, oh, of course, that's a kind of like a cliche aspect of these movies, but they did it in a fairly good way. I felt like where it wasn't like overly.
Yeah, I agree.
But I wanted more of that though. Cause like I didn't really understand what it meant the first time he did it, but then they like explained what happened to the dad. And then all of a sudden it gave it meaning. And I was like, but like, that was really the only example that I could point to that was like, oh, this was something that he did that we didn't know what it meant, but then we learned it had meaning. And then he did it again. And I was like, is he going to throw himself in front of this train or like, what's he going to do? But like, I just wanted more of that.
Yeah, I feel you for sure. I don't know. I thought it was funny because I was reading this interview with him or something, but he started writing this at fifth when he was 15 because his dad's like a musician, and like I think this is somewhat not a bio, but like some of it's relatable to his like personal life, I think. But he had a hard time, like such a hard time finding someone to like help him make this movie. So it's been in production or not production. It's been in like, it's been in motion since he was 15, which I thought was super interesting. But the most of the kids were like friends of his, and like it's funny because Randall, the kid with like the bleach blonde hair, he's in like all of Alex's movies, I feel like, because I think they're friends. I think he's like an acting friend of his. But like Seamus, his character, they weren't friends with him or anything. He just sent in the tape and they were like, oh yeah, that's the guy. So that's
I feel like they got to an age, if he started writing when he's 15, where he's like, guys, we got to make this now. We look too old. We got to make this now. We gotta, right. Like, okay.
That is one of my biggest pet peeves in any movie, though, is if there's a high schooler, just cast a goddamn high schooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's so hard about that?
Or if you need them to be 18, like just cast them when they're 18, like, don't do like a 28-year-old.
That doesn't make any sense to me, like at all. Like, I love Glee, but that was one of my biggest gripes about Glee. All the actors looked like they were 35. Like
they all were. Really... I didn't even think about that with Glee.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I got like Duplass brother vibes from this one, like mumblecore-ish. If the Duplass brothers made like more drama-filled movies, I feel like this would be kind of like, I don't know. I really like that indie vibe, like the cinematography and like there's just a certain thing I don't know. I love these types of movies. They're just fascinating to me. But
when do they say cat in the cat in the movie?
They say it a couple times. So they say it. The first one is when he's talking to the girl about the story that his dad used to. It was like after they have sex for the first time, and then at the very end, he asks the guy who was like watching him. Forgot his name, but he was like, "Oh, do you have the story Cat in the Moon or whatever?" I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was interesting, but. Yeah, I don't know. It was cool. I'm glad to see Alex is directing though. It's cool. Like he's like, it seems like he knows what he's doing. So I'm excited to see him do other movies that are, more budget, higher budgets. And well, hopefully, I don't know. I like the low budget feel though of these movies.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, in whatever way, the person who's not in this industry talking about this, but
yeah,
I was gonna say, like, I am excited because like it felt like the reasons I felt like it was not great or like cliche, I think can all probably be attributed to like it being someone's like first time writing it and young and like, right. Especially if you started writing when you're 15.
I think he's our age or a couple years younger. So.
And it's like, as in like, I'm not saying like, nice try again. It was amazing for a first try, but like, I have hopes. Yeah, I have think he'll do really well if he keeps doing it, because the only gripes I had just felt like it was someone's first time and doing cliches and like just like the very things that were like a little too like it played too into like being an artsy movie. I think were like the things that felt like that, right? Like those were the things where I'm like, oh, this just felt like an artsy movie to me, like that part, and why like those certain parts stuck out as like, oh, they actually like. They nailed that part.
I think the first like half to me was really good, and then it kind of like got slower, and like some of the scenes just were way too long. Like I just think they didn't really know what they wanted to do with the second half of it, but the first half was really strong to me. Like I don't know, I love like the party scene where they were just fighting those guys like that. It's so random, but I love it.
that was another part. Like. Yes, I agree with you. I enjoyed that part, but I I wanted it to like mean something more or like tie into the plot somehow. Because like I was just waiting for the shoe to drop, and it just kind of never did.
So you are a plot person for sure.
Yeah, well, like he got in a fight. He like went like too far 2 times, and so I'm like, this dude's gonna just lose it. And I, like almost like Taxi Driver style. And so I was just waiting for it to happen, and it just never did.
Yep.
But,
I love that aspect of it. I love
like he did. He damn near killed a guy.
That's true. I mean, that one shot of where he's like, throws him against the wall, whatever hits him. His friends look over. I think that's when it was like, oh shit, like
when they all stop beating up the person who just watched him and being like, what do you, I like love that part of where it's like, oh, it's like there's a brawl, but then people like there's this common understanding that you don't really hurt someone past a certain point. Right. So like both sides, if it passes the point, both sides are like, well, hold up. I know we were trying to beat the shit out of each other, but like this, we both know that this is a little too far.
Oh yeah, I do like how like I do enjoy that his two friends, Seamus and Randall, were like friends with him, because I feel like I was like, oh, they're gonna be bullies. This is gonna be another thing, and I was like, the bully. I know, Jesse, you're not a fan of the bully thing, and I wasn't. But they were I was like, oh, this is cool. They didn't play with that stereotype, so I was happy with that. So I don't know. That was kind of fun, but I don't know. I also read that the girl, like I was reading an interview with him. I haven't finished it yet, but someone asked him if the main girl, what's her name, Eliza or something like that? I don't know.
Eliza.
Something like that. Basically, they were like, oh, was that based on a real girlfriend or a real person? And he was like, I plead the fifth. Was it plead the fifth? He like repeatedly said that, and he didn't answer the question. Like, he's like, I plead the fifth.
AKA yes.
Yeah.
We know what you're saying.
Yeah.
We get it.
But yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating. But I don't know. I am happy I watched it. I am very excited to see what else he's in and what else he does. He was he's doing a lot of drama stuff recently. I mean, with Pig and Hereditary and
Pig.
My Friend Dahmer, and Pig is so good. So good. But yeah, I don't know. I like the New York City setting. I thought that was kind of cool.
Do we know anything about those New York City locations?
I was looking, dude. It's hard. This movie's not on the top of lists of locations, so I have to do some research. But it's definitely New York City. I mean, you could tell.
Some subway shots. I don't know where the school was. Don't know where the apartment was. I
do love the drug deal scene where they buy the drugs. It was like cringy, but it was like, whoa.
That was another one that was confusing to me. Like why is he throwing around the N-word? It's just a bunch of white guys. Like,
I don't know.
And then he does like, I feel like he just had no self-awareness.
Yeah. He was clearly like, yeah, not with it.
But that's right. It felt like a scene that I was like, it's like, it actually, I thought it was like, kind of like good. It was believable that kid, I think, would do, like it didn't feel like it felt real. Like they nailed it. But then after, it kind of was like, what was the point of that for the movie?
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's how I felt about a lot of it.
Yeah.
I like that.
It was disappointing to me.
I mean, and I don't need it to tie into a major plot, but he just was like bummed, and so she was obviously like shaken up, and then they were like, "What's wrong with you?" And then I was like, "Oh, now it's gonna like actually turn into at least something for a second," and then it just didn't at all.
I don't really think that guy really came back into the story at all after that.
Nope.
No, yeah, I was gonna say because we didn't even see him at the party. Did we ever? I don't know.
We don't need to. It just happened throughout his life. We saw Alec Benjamin. It didn't tie in. That doesn't tie into it does tie into our lives. But
we saw, how is this tied to us being Alec Benjamin, dude?
Because that is a one. So Jesse and I went to see Alec Benjamin in Portland. I'm just saying that relates.
To Alec. He's a big listener.
Because that was one scene of our lives, right? And that was one scene of his life. And it never just.
Okay, but if you made a movie of our life, would you put us seeing Alec Benjamin?
Maybe if it fit, if it was like, all right.
I would love it. This is like life movie, and then out of nowhere, it's just like me and you going to an Alec Benjamin concert, and then it just like cuts back to the plot, and everyone's like, "Wait, did they just go to an Alec Benjamin concert?" And they're like, "Yeah." How's that going to tie back in? Oh, it doesn't. They went and saw him. It's true. It's
exactly. Oh wait. Oh. Losing Joe.
He's back.
Trying to refocus.
You're like, when we bought drugs at the Alec Benjamin concert.
Yeah, remember that? Got a gun pulled on us.
When we were the oldest people there by 10 years.
Oh, I'm so used to those concerts now, so it was a good thing or a bad thing.
That was a great concert.
So, yeah.
Thank you for those tickets.
Of course.
Those tickets.
That'd be the best birthday gift ever.
Alec Benjamin should start acting.
He should, dude.
I don't know why, but like, he should do it.
Alex Wolfman, cast Alec Benjamin in your next movie.
could play a good musician in the next movie.
Dude, I'm not opposed. There was one thing that I was confused about at the end when he like, moved out, essentially got in the train or bus or whatever, and like went, he got off at like a coastal city. I don't even know where it was at. But then it seemed like he was on the train for a while, and then he goes to this house party and his friends are there. I'm like, didn't you leave New York? Did he go back? Like,
I think that party was in Detroit.
But why were all of his friends there, his new friends there? Like, why were they like?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because Seamus was there and the whole gang was there.
Yeah, I didn't think he actually ever left. I don't know where he went, but I didn't.
They showed him going somewhere, and it was like it looked like a span of a good amount of time at least. I don't know, like back to Detroit, but maybe he turned around. I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say maybe it was to. I don't. I mean, I have no clue anymore. But I mean, it's a good point. I just took it as I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, whatever's happening now, he's back.
I do love that Seamus was really into learning French. I thought that was fun.
It was funny, but it's again one of those things of like, it was a funny point, but it was funny like at the end when he like they make up by him being like, I got you these like French dirty French things, and you're like, yeah. It just felt like, this was a good part, but was it just in there for this one part so they could make up by being like, I remembered you said you liked French.
Maybe. Maybe.
Probably.
Probably.
I don't know.
Hey man, I got you Alec Benjamin tickets.
We good now? We good?
We good now.
I actually did like, even though it was kind of cheesy, I actually did like their redemption at the end. Because I feel like their group was like a real, like they felt like a real group of friends. Like it just felt like a New York City like kids like that. I would be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I did appreciate that they kind of resolved that in a positive way. It's not just like, hey, I'm going to beat the crap out of you. End of story.
I do hate that. I wish he got with the girl. That always gets me because I'm always like, oh man, just like they're literally with each other and they're like, we both really like each other, but we're just going to completely ignore it. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, I get he's moving back, but yeah, I get it, but I don't know. Maybe down the line they'll be together. Who knows? Do you guys want to rate sequel? The Dog and the Moon, The Dog and the Sun.
The Car and the Moon.
The Car and the Moon. It'll be The Car and the Moon 2.
Did I really type that? I didn't realize I typed that.
Yeah, you typed it.
Yeah, because I
didn't correct it because I was like assumed that you knew. I was like, you just messed it up, but I could actually I could see you going to a random movie called The Car and the Moon and literally watching that movie,
watching it, showing up, and be like, oh crap.
We need to have some punishment for that. Like next time that happens to one of us, like we gotta make someone do something.
Yeah, you need to. I don't know.
Hard because Jesse doesn't drink, so I was like, we could just make someone take a shot.
No, you have to like watch like 10 hours of like
Tusk.
Or something.
Tusk. You have to watch Tusk like 4 times in a row. Oh God,
I'll never screw up.
I will say I was reading it. This actually, we can go into movie news, but this we should rate it. But one thing, I was reading a list of A24 films, like worst to best, and Tusk was like the worst one, obviously.
Obviously.
But
boycott A24. I'm launching a campaign.
Whoa.
Hey, look.
They're the only team that makes good movies now.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. All right.
True that. You guys want to rate this baby?
Let's rate it. So the new rule is Joe B, since he picked this movie, rates it last. So let's start with
you,
Jesse.
Or Jesse. You or Jesse.
I'm going to go. It's also so funny because I feel like my ratings are always like my same scale is like 2 points higher than your guys. You know, you'll be like, especially Joe B, you'll be like, it's a pretty good movie, 6. And I'm like, it was trash, 6.
Yeah. That's why it's great. Yeah.
It's all relative.
I'm going to go 7.5.
Ooh.
7.5. What's a good unit for this?
You got music, you got drugs, you got subways.
Drugs.
You got high school.
I love like all the the classic, you can't have a high school or any school movie without them dropping loose papers on the ground.
Yes,
like a book in loose papers. Crap.
Never
like
happens.
out of the locker. Yeah,
that was good. Yeah.
All the time. Ugh.
Oh god.
7.5 loose papers.
Okay.
It was, again, I went into it thinking it was going to be pretty bad. I'm going to be honest. I was like, I'm not looking forward to this one. People are like, what movie do you have to watch? And I was like, I don't know, some dumb one that Joe picked. I don't even know.
I love that's how you describe the movies.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know the name of it. Some dumb, stupid one I've never heard of before. Because it's usually like, I'm usually like also assuming, I knew this one wasn't horror from when you posted it, but I'm usually being like, it's some dumb horror thing that like I don't want to watch.
Dude, we've been doing this for so long where I'm not gonna do that to you. I'm gonna only try to pick a movie that I think you'll maybe not in this one, but horror especially.
I'll make a promise you can't keep.
Yeah. You guys heard it. As he edits this part out. Good. Good. But it was better than I thought. And again, like it still was a little like cheesy in a independent, an indie artsy movie is, and coming of age high school student. And they just never felt like, I will say towards the end, maybe it's because I was more bought in. It felt more normal, like high school. But at the beginning, I was like, it's not working. And I wish it was. I get it. Actually, wouldn't be the same story if they were in college, right? Because you view them not quite as kids,
right?
But yeah, so it still was a little just like your cliche indie art movie. But I think they did
right up my alley.
Like a bunch of things. I think they did a bunch of things really well.
Mm-hmm. I thought the cinematography was cool. Like it was actually pretty good.
It was shot really well. Like cool, very cool. And like Alex Wolff as an actor is like really, really good. It's funny, every time I kind of forget, every time you say him, and I think like ever since Pig, I always think he is Nat, the older one.
Like, that took forever for me too. Like that.
Yeah, because he almost kind of like looks like Nat when Nat was younger, if that makes sense. You know, like when I see him, I'm like, oh, that must be Nat. Like that must have been Nat who grew up to look like this.
He's got just look at the mole and dark eyebrows. That's like Alex. Like
because Alex always looked so much more like a kid because he was younger and like Naked Brothers band and stuff. So I always just like I still always think this is Nat. I don't even know if Nat does stuff anymore.
Well, it's funny because Alex actually looks older than Nat, in my opinion. I think like.
Yeah, one of those. So anyways, but he's a really good actor.
He's really good. Very
surprised. If he likes writing and directing, I say keep going for it. But definitely a good actor.
He did have he like was when he was like writing this, I mean obviously not when he was 15, but like kind of recently, because this came out 2022, right? I think this was 22.
No, it's like 2018 or something.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, he was, so he used to live above Noah Baumbach in New York City. So he would drop the script off at Noah's apartment. He'd just leave it at Noah's door apparently and just like get notes and stuff. And like, and he would send it to like Ari Aster. He said he was an influence on him and helped him out too. And
like, he was in Hereditary, right?
Yeah, he was in Hereditary. That's kind of where I saw with my friend Dahmer, but he had such a minor role.
Dude, this is guy's right up your alley.
But like he was like a minor role, but I was like, oh, he's good or whatever. Nothing. I didn't really think of anything. And then I saw Hereditary. I was like, wow, this kid's really good. So there's just certain scenes. Like I feel like the phone call scene, where he's on the phone with his mom, and then like it's actually pretty extended after he hangs up of him like starting to get emotional. And I was like, oh, I think he did a really good job in that scene, because like that scene, especially like those types, and when you're just like on the phone by yourself shooting it, is like, I'm assuming, an incredibly hard scene to shoot. And I like, he's good. So I always think of like, I mean, one of the reasons why I was excited about this is because I thought it was a drug movie. And because like, I honestly like drug movies to me, like it really, like, I think of like the Basketball Diaries from the 90s with Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like 20. I think like, if you can do a good drug movie, if you're like a good actor in a drug movie, you're going to be like, I don't know. To me, like it takes more to be good in a drug movie, because it's like harder to be strung out and like all this other stuff. Like it's impressive if you can do that. So I think that's why I like watching those movies, because of the acting. I think mainly like I can't watch a lot of them like in a row, because I can only watch them in doses, no pun intended. But I I do love them for like, because I'm excited to see how the actors kind of, take in that character.
Yeah.
So,
Last
but I was
thing,
happy that it
pass
wasn't
to Joe.
So,
Is one. Am I gonna forget the other thing? I'm already losing the other thing. One, we're gonna pick the Whackness soon.
Oh
Drug
yes,
movie.
I'm so pumped. I've
And
never seen that one.
How great! I actually haven't seen it in full either. So
Sweet. I'm excited.
anyways, drug movie. Oh, the second thing was how even with comedies you talk about, like with Charlie Day, how he's really good at playing like high or on drugs. So I just think it's funny that like even in the comedy sense of like on drugs, you're like, that's
hilarious. I never made that connection, but I do think like it really, like if someone can do that, like to me that's like so impressive. Like I don't know, I can't get over it. It's great.
Him and Seth Rogen.
Yeah, Jonah Hill, like even Wolf of Wall Street, like Leo and Jonah Hill in that movie, they're like perfect. Like they act so well. Like I don't know, it's crazy. I want to be on set for those like drug scenes, like when they're just completely out of their mind. Like seeing them get into, like I don't even know. Like it's
how do you get into that character?
Right? Who knows? I mean, I think if there's
drugs,
you literally do the drugs. Yeah, this is what in the bubble when we just talked about they all did drugs. Like they were like, why didn't we do this the whole time we were here?
Yeah.
But
fair point.
Sweet. 7-5 for Jesse. Joe, you want to go?
Yes. I see. I just wanted more out of this movie. I really wanted to like it, and I did, but like I just feel like I wanted to like it more. So I gotta go like 6-8.
All right.
But like a good 6-8, because I just feel like I feel like from the start, like it's the style of movie I like. I just wanted a little bit more in the plot. That's really what it came down to for me. But I go 6-8. I go 6-8. Awkward elevator scenes.
Yes.
I love a good awkward elevator scene.
I was thinking that when it started there, and I was like, oh, good elevator realness. Also, what I highly recommend, Joe, next time you come in, instead of coming in wanting to like the movie, just come in thinking, oh, this is a dumb Joe pick movie I'm probably going to hate.
That's the play.
Maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help.
It helps.
Well, it's funny because I literally I didn't know anything about this movie. I was like, I don't even know what this is about. So I didn't even know what to expect.
And what's the final rating?
Oh, wait, Joe, what did you get? Oh, he's 6. Okay, so I've been going back and forth between a couple ratings on this one because I really liked it, but I also thought I had some issues with it too. Like it wasn't my favorite movie, but I'm glad I watched. Like I think I liked it. If Alex wasn't involved, I don't think I would have liked it as much. But I think because I like him as a actor, person, whatever, I think I liked it more. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go 7-5. I'm gonna go do Jesse. Okay, I'm gonna say the same rating because I would actually probably watch this again at some point. Because this is like weirdly one of my favorite subgenres is kind of like indie dramas, like really indie dramas, like artsy indie drama. There we go. Artsy indie drama. I like weirdly love them. And I would say Locating Silver Lake is on a similar level as this in like that type of like tone. Like that's, you don't think? I think it's
come
similar.
on, that was a masterpiece. What are you talking about?
I think not like the final product, but like how it's shot, how it's like cut together. Like
this is just darker than that.
Darker, yeah.
But I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah. Not like tone, but like same thing.
The like indie realness of
realness, kind of. Like the Whackness is probably going to be similar to this.
They're both coming of age in a different,
slightly
different time, but like they are that same style.
There's just something about the indie style that I really like. I don't know, I can't describe it. It's just great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, 7-5 records because I love all the records, and I did like the music aspect. I think, I don't know, I don't think some of it was necessary. Like I don't know, it didn't really do anything for me. Was the musical? I mean, it was cool. Like it was cool that he was like kind of carrying on his dad's. You know, he was clearly good at everything, but like I don't know, it didn't really do anything for me.
Something more there. Or something.
Yeah, like I said, first half fantastic. Second half was still good, but it definitely dropped for me.
Right?
Yeah, needs to rewrite.
It's a great first draft.
Great first draft. Great first cut of the movie. No, I liked it a lot. I'm excited to see what Alex does in the future. And this has been on my list for a while. So glad I finally picked it.
I also totally forgot to tell you guys, this one was out of 40. The rating. So
out of 40?
Apologies. I got to remember to tell you guys up front, but it's
Dude,
so we got 7.5 out of 40.
Oh,
so
you got to tell us before because
my bad, guys.
We're locked in. So
next time
it's too late for us to save yourself.
We're in the call.
Hey, Alex, we're gotta apologize, man. We sent in some pretty bad scores.
No, that's good. Well, cool. So want to get into some news?
Yeah, have you guys seen Search Party? Let's wrap this up.
How about you recite the whole first episode right now? Can you act it out?
I just do an episode every episode of ours. All right, so that's anyways. Check that out.
I did see. Well, I don't know if you guys probably saw this or not, but Bruce Willis retired from acting.
I did see that.
What?
He was diagnosed
aphasia. Aphasia. I don't know what that is. APHASIA. We need Dion for that. We need Dr. D.
Yeah, we need to get the medical perspective.
It's something with like memory or something. I don't know. Like the head. I don't know. But apparently he retired, which is a bummer.
The legend of Bruce Willis will live on, though. I will continue to watch Die Hard every Christmas.
100. Although, funny that you brought that up. I was reading like an article about something with Bruce Willis, but it was like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And he says, no, it's a Bruce Willis movie. And I was like,
I like that. I'm okay with that.
So
aphasia is when it's the part of your brain that is responsible for language, which makes a lot of sense, as in he probably won't be able to.
Right. That's such a bummer, man. It's such a bummer.
Yeah. Well, because I was going to say too, like when actors, musicians, I'm going to throw athletes in it now, say they retire. I'm like, no, you're not.
No.
I'm like, I know you say you are, but like,
because you could still do like commercials and stuff that technically you're not retired.
Or in a year, they're like, yeah, a movie came along my way.
Yeah. Right. It's like a little cameo or something or whatever. But
I love somebody said, some like comedian was talking about like retiring from being a comic before they like made it, and they were like, but it's pretty hard to retire from something no one knows you do. Like, if you're like, I'm retiring from acting, and people are like, you act?
What?
And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm done with it now. But
that's hysterical, actually.
What a bummer.
But so hopefully he does well. I don't know. We'll see. But I did have a convo, was it a week ago, with this director for one of our off script episodes. And her name is Chelsea Stardust. She directed a film called Satanic
Panic.
Name. I know. Well, her last
name. What a name on a movie too.
Exactly. Well, she directed this movie called Satanic Panic, which is like a comedy horror. And
I thought you said Titanic Panic. I'm gonna be honest.
That would be even better. But it was great. The episode will probably come out soonish. So definitely check that out. She's awesome. Great. Super nice person. Knows a lot of people in the horror community, and got some cool stuff coming out.
Cool.
Other than that,
watching Showtime, HBO, Adam McKay.
Nice.
And the Lakers. Pretty funny.
We started watching that. We didn't start. We like started a couple episodes because they're so short. In between two ferns.
Is that the Zach
Galifianakis show?
Have you guys seen it?
I've seen clips of it.
Wait, like his show or like the Netflix thing?
The episodes are like 10 minutes or so, like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it's the show, I think.
Okay, but there's a Between Two Ferns.
Between Two Ferns, okay.
It started on Funny or Die, which was like, I think it might have been the first thing on Funny, which is Will Ferrell and Adam McKay started Funny or Die.
Gotcha. I did not know that.
And do you know that it's like one of the old viral videos of it's called The Landlord, and it's Will Ferrell and a like 4-year-old daughter.
Oh yeah.
4-year-old girl is like his landlord.
Yeah.
And it's like, please, I'm gonna get you the money. And she's like, I need my money now.
Yeah. I remember
that was like the first Funny or Die video. That's Adam McKay's daughter, I believe. That was his real daughter at the time.
You think her name is Michaela?
I don't know.
Michaela McKay.
I don't think so. But yeah, they start, and I think Between
That's
Two
crazy.
Ferns was one of the. But Netflix, I mean, so good. But Netflix has like a, I don't even know what to call it, like a doc movie. I mean, not really a doc; it's like a comedy. But I think it's still called Between Two Ferns. But it's like an hour thing, and it's really funny. But it's like that. But it's like a movie.
It's very interesting. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I'm like, because we watched the first 2 episodes. We watched a new one of Jerry Seinfeld, but we didn't realize, we're like, oh, it's a new show. And then we're like, no, this has been on for a while. So we went back to the very first episode, and then like we watched like the first 3 or something. It was like, it's funny. I don't know. It's weird. It's not my humor. So I don't know.
It's funny to listen to Zach talk about shooting that, especially.
Oh, I
'cause,
bet.
like, the people have to be like, it's like a weird thing to shoot because the people have to be playing along, but they also can't play. They have to play along as if it was real, and like Zach is actually the strange character. Like they can't get too. If they played along it and they were like acting like Zach, it wouldn't work. Like it only works because they're being like, "What is this?" But like Obama was on it.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw something like that.
You know, and like I remember him talking about when they were pitching jokes, you know, because they have to like get everything cleared, obviously.
Yeah.
And like so many jokes, he was like, I cannot ask the president of the United States that question, you know, because he's like supposed to be kind of a jerk.
Right.
Yeah, obviously, like when he interviews. So he was like, there's so many things that he had to not do.
Does he share like the questions beforehand or no?
I don't know with all of them. I know like with the Barack, they had to get everything cleared through.
Gotcha.
Obviously, like his speech, right? Like his communications team, obviously.
Because it makes it better when it's like, you know, they have no idea what's coming and they just ask the most random question. Like, so have you done anything since, like, I think it was Michael Cera we were watching. He was like, he said, I can't remember what it was, but like, I just like when you see him getting caught off guard. I think that's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, the best.
Yep. So
Ferns.
Yeah, that's
finished watching the other 2 that I've mentioned before that I think you guys would really like, but it's really great. It's just 2 seasons.
Okay.
But it's about the older brother and sister of a kid who becomes a TikTok star.
Oh, yeah.
And he like lip syncs, but then he becomes like a giant act, and he's so good in it. They found him from TikTok.
Oh wow.
But he's like not even really the main character. It's really about his siblings, but he's in it. And like Molly Shannon plays his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Kelly and Sarah Schneider, who were like SNL head writers at point. It's like their show. It's just so funny. And it's like one of those like really short episodes. You can just toss them on. That guy who's in everything, his name's Streeter in it.
Streeter.
I have to
Streeter.
He's one of these actors who's like in everything. Ken Marino.
Who's that?
Search Ken Marino and just be like, oh yeah, this guy.
Oh yep.
But I don't even like know what he's in. He's one of those actors who I like know so well, but I even look at his list of movies and I'm like, why do I even know him that well?
He was in, what was he? Okay, what do I know him from? He was in I think he's in A League or It's Always Sunny. It's one of the shows.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know.
Anyways.
Oh, Wet Hot American Summer. That's what that's why I know it from. Got it. Cool. About it though. Is that
show, though.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. A lot of shit I gotta check out.
Lots to look at.
I did watch this new show. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's called Search Party.
Whoa. You
not yet.
I feel like I can't watch it out of principle.
I was gonna say part of me's putting it off now just because.
Guys, but think how good the next podcast is going to be when you watch it.
I'm probably going to
listeners
say that I haven't seen it.
Honestly, I was looking at our statistics. Most listeners skip 45 minutes into the podcast just to listen to the movie news, just to hear if you guys have watched Search Party. They're like, oh my God, the new episode came out. I don't care what they watched. I got to know if Joan Joe watched Search Party. And they don't. And imagine how crazy it's going to be.
It will. Yeah.
And we just have like movie news is like I mean, either you watch all 5 seasons and where movie news is like 8 hours long.
Okay.
Or it's just like we enter a new era of the podcast.
Where you talk about
every movie news. We're talking about the new episodes of Search Party.
I mean, who knows? It might be the case.
I saw one of our fans started a change.org petition to get you guys to watch it. So,
well, best of luck to them because
best of luck for sure.
100,000 signatures and it goes to the president, I think. So, you guys better watch out.
We could, yeah. Well,
I'd like to see it get there.
Yeah, me too.
That has to be a presidential address.
All right. Is that a wrap?
I think that's a wrap.
Yep.
The Cat in the Moon.